Where in the world am I? I'm in San Diego, thinking about my visit to the island of Naxos, Greece. Welcome back to the Dr. Mary Travelbest Guide podcast. A few months ago, I returned from a 90-day journey around the world, and I'm excited to connect with fellow travelers and share experiences. Here's the FAQ, and this is something different. While planning a trip to Taiwan and South Korea, someone I was guiding asked, "Is 911 a universal emergency code worldwide?" I looked into this and I found a helpful answer. 911 is not universal. Abroad, the number differs, and sometimes each service has its own. Commonly, 112 in the EU, 112 or 999 in the UK and Ireland, 000 in Australia, 111 in New Zealand, 110 or 119 in Japan, 112 or 119 in South Korea and Taiwan. So if you're going to Europe, 112 is the key number to remember. It works everywhere in the EU, is free, and will connect you to emergency services from any phone. A few country-specific examples matter because they can trip up travelers. So what else should you know besides the number? Well, don't assume 911 works overseas. In some places, it may redirect, but don't rely on it. So know the local emergency number before you travel, and always know your location, your hotel, the street, the intersection, the train station, or the landmark for fast communication with emergency operators. And if you call, clearly state which service you need: police, ambulance, or fire. Save your embassy or consulate number, but call local emergency services first. Okay? And one more thing to remember: some countries have non-emergency numbers. So, in summary, solo travelers should memorize 112 for Europe and always look up the emergency number for each country before traveling. It ensures you are prepared for emergencies wherever you go. Now for the 60-second confidence challenge. Your challenge today is to be ready for an emergency. Before each trip, put the following items in your phone notes and in your bag: the local emergency number, the hotel address, the embassy or consulate contact, travel insurance emergency line, and one family contact. Now, if your phone is locked, add your emergency contacts and any major medical facts to the lock screen or medical ID, and know the emergency code in that country, as we mentioned in the FAQ. So if you like this confidence challenge, you should take up my book series. It's going to also cover safety and security while it moves you through the 5 steps to solo travel, from easy to more challenging, with foreign language communication tips. See Book A for addressing this concern. Now, I've got a website, 5stepstosolotravel.com, and the book series is on Amazon also, and I will be doing pre-orders soon for Book C in the series. So please look out for that. Now today, we're going to talk about Naxos, Greece. The Greek island of Naxos is one of those places that quietly steals your heart. If you're a woman over 50 thinking about taking a slightly more adventurous step in your solo travel journey, this is your place. It's not too crowded, not too complicated, but just enough unknown to stretch you in the best way. So we'll start with the journey. I took the Blue Star Ferry from Athens around noon, passing through Paros. That's another island on the way. And the round trip from Athens port was about $85 with a Eurail discount of 30%. So the ferry ride itself, it was part of the experience. It's calm, it's scenic. It gives you time to sit, read, think, or do nothing at all. And for many of us, doing nothing is the hardest and most valuable skill to relearn. The hotel where I stayed was called the Galena, a short 300-meter walk from the water and beach. It was run by 2 brothers whose parents founded it over 40 years ago. My room was delightful. The location was excellent. The breakfast I had the morning before leaving was perfect, featuring all the delicious Greek foods I wanted to try, and I ate my fill. It was included in the room price, which was around $85 US. It was definitely worth it because I completely relaxed and enjoyed my stay. Now, during my time on Naxos, I went swimming twice and enjoyed walking around the island. I loved getting lost while exploring the shops, selling a variety of merchandise like t-shirts and knickknacks. I didn't buy much, but just looking around made me feel great. I also had a nice dinner at a restaurant called Taverna, which cost about $20. I ordered shrimp served on a plate with rice and salad, along with skewers of meat, souvlaki. Naxos is not a rush-through destination. I swam twice, as I mentioned, but when you keep going back, you love it. You found your rhythm. I also wandered through the old town, and I got completely lost in the castle area, the Venetian Astro District. And then I wanted you to think to yourself, when was the last time you allowed yourself to get lost on purpose? No Google Maps, no urgency, just curiosity. Because that's where confidence is going to grow. It's not in having a perfect plan, but small uncertainties. Now, I'll talk more about getting lost and my mistakes later on. On an island, it's usually pretty easy to find your way back, was one of my thoughts while exploring. Now, one of my favorite moments on Naxos was hiking up St. George Hill, past an abandoned restaurant to catch the sunset. The place was run down with graffiti and weeds. It made it look pretty cluttered, but the views were magnificent. No crowds, no ticket, just a view that reminded me why I travel. And then there's the Portara, the Temple of Apollo, just a 10 to 15 minute walk from town, sitting dramatically at the edge of the sea. It's iconic, but still peaceful if you time it right. One day, something unexpected, a conversation at the beach with an Australian man who was on a construction project for a bar on the seafront called Baco Seaside. It has 4.4 stars. I checked. You never know who you may run to at the beach. For details, James was 32, bald, and a good storyteller. He had no idea that I travel the world and write about it for women like you. We watched each other's belongings when we wanted to go swimming. Remember, never leave your items on the beach unattended. Travel introduces you to people who are never supposed to meet you, and yet somehow you do meet them. If I had more time, and you should plan for it, I would visit more beaches beyond St. George and the museums in the Venetian castle. So a little more history about Naxos for you. I'll tell you, it's a South Aegean Sea, and it is one of the Cyclades, spelled Cyclades. Its fertile landscape has lots of mountain villages, ancient ruins, as I've mentioned, and long stretches of beach. The namesake capital, also called Hora or Chora, it's a port town, as I mentioned, with whitewashed, cube-shaped houses and medieval Venetian mansions. Castro, a hilltop castle dating to the 13th century, houses an architectural museum. So let's talk about Greek. Yes, Greek language. I tried. I really did try for 15 days on Duolingo. However, I still struggled. And here's the truth. You really don't need to be fluent, but you do need to be willing to try, to feel a little uncomfortable when you try. It's part of step 5 travel. Greek is harder to learn than I thought. I tried Duolingo for about 15 days, but it didn't help me as much as I had hoped. But I tried. And I have 3 words that I learned. One is hello, that's giasas yasa. And then another one was parakalat, that means pleased. And then there's another one called efharisto, that's thank you. So that's all my Greek for today. But don't underestimate Naxos. Give it at least a few nights because the place makes you feel relaxed and you'll feel confident as a solo traveler. Start with a place like Naxos if you can. Easy ferry access, walkable town, safe, welcoming vibe, plenty to do, but no pressure to do it all. So just in summary, I want to talk about the other choices you have. You could find Crete if you want the deepest mix of archaeology, cities, dramatic nature and a longer road trip style island trip, or Sardinia, if your main goal is exceptional Italian beaches and a larger standalone Mediterranean holiday, or Santorini, if the caldera views are the point, or Mykonos, if nightlife and scene matter a lot to you. I liked Naxos. For me, it was a better island for people who really want to relax and feel Greece, not just check off the most famous name. And now, let's talk about my missteps, getting lost in Athens. The hostel manager pointed outside, "Don't go that way when you leave." I did not ask for details, assuming it was a bad area with a high crime rate. I did get lost a few times nearby, though, finding my way back. I may have walked that way by accident. Just saying. So, a few more details. I found the metro station when I got to Greece. When I got to Athens, I got it from the airport. It was very modern. It was a faster blue line. I changed lines at Monostraki, and I arrived at Ammonio Square. But then I got a little lost. The neighborhood I was looking for was kind of confusing. There were like 5 streets that all combined. And again, it wasn't very safe. There were lots of little small markets around. Picture 7-Elevens with no name and branding on them. I felt scared at times, a little bit. One night after returning from Naxos, it was about 9:15 p.m. and dark when I finally reached the hostel, but I was safe and ready for yet another day. So I will see you on the next journey, and look for the pre-order info on Book C, 5 Steps to Solo Travel. Can't wait till you can read it.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travelbest, that is.